Welcome to episode 43 of The Working Hour with Mike and Shane. I'm Mike, and across from me sits my best friend and co-host Shane. Shane, go ahead and tell us the bonus track you selected for this week's episode, and then I will get us started with the album introduction.
Yeah, so this week's bonus track is going to be "The Night Will Always Win" by Elbow. I'm sure that people around our age may know this song without recognizing that they know it. So,
What's it? Is it from them?
yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay. Yeah, stay tuned for that.
Yeah, stay tuned. Find out later.
All right, but the reason you're here, the title of the episode, we're covering Steely Dan's 1972 album, Cant Buy A Thrill, which is the debut studio album by the American rock band Steely Dan. As I said, it was released in 1972, November specifically, by ABC Records. It was recorded around August of 1972 in Los Angeles. Fun fact, Steely Dan, I don't know if you knew this. I told Lindsay it and she didn't know it. Lindsay, Steely Dan got their name after a steam-powered strap-on dildo called Steely Dan 30 from Yokohama from the 1959 novel Naked Lunch by William S. Burroughs. I'd heard that before, like a long time ago, like a year and a half, 2 years ago, but I totally forgot about it, but I wanted to bring it up.
Interesting.
Because it's a fun fact. And then I dived into a lot of other things like Whitesnake. Same thing.
Yeah, okay, that checks out.
The album was a big commercial success. Cant Buy A Thrill peaked at number 17 on the U.S. Billboard with the only two singles, which I thought was kind of crazy. It only had two singles, Do It Again and Reelin' in the Years. Eventually, the album was certified platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America. That's all I have, Shane. Do you have anything?
Yeah, no, I heard something similar. Wasn't it like POD was like Pink Old Dick or something like that?
Is that
Like,
really a thing?
no, Payable on Death. Yeah. Plus they're
Like
plus they're a Christian band too. So there's that.
What if? A little tongue in cheek, though.
Right. You never know. Inside joke with the band. No, I do not have anything to add.
All right. Well, that being said, let's get into track number one. With a runtime just a little under 6 minutes, Do It Again. This actually has a runtime of 5 minutes, 57 seconds. Song starts off with like a very fast tempo. It really gets the album going. And there's kind of like a Latin vibe, too, with the congas.
Yeah.
There's some snappy snare drumming, too. Around the 1 minute, 5 second mark, the instrumental buildup is really a treat, in my opinion. It's such a catchy riff. It doesn't get stale or keep me waiting at all. It kind of gets right to it. I do want to pinpoint, though, that there is a radio edit or single version, the better way of putting it. It's only 3 minutes, 57 seconds. So that's the one me and you are probably more familiar with because we've probably heard it more on the radio at this point in our lives than actually searching it out. The shortened version eliminates the electric sitar on the intro and outro and omits the organ solo entirely. So, boo. I do like the longer version, though.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, because it's really not a whole lot longer. I mean, you got 2 minutes, but it's, I don't know, I feel like the instrumental's fast enough, fast-paced enough, fast-tempo enough where it rolls really smooth. I've always really enjoyed this song, and it's still one of my favorite Steely Dan tracks. Probably my go-to, honestly, which I feel like is everybody's go-to. It's like saying, yeah, Smells Like Teen Spirit is my favorite.
Sure.
But it's a track I heard a bunch growing up and just kind of riding in the car, like with my mom or dad, really. Once I got a little older, though, and a little bit like more lyric analytical, I really enjoyed it, too. A couple of the verses I like, just the opening. In the morning you go gunning for the man who stole your water. And you fire till he is done in, but they catch you at the border. And the mourners are all singing as they drag you by your feet. But the hangman isn't hanging and they put you on the street. You go back, Jack. Do it again. It's very catchy. There's also When You Know She's No High Climber. Then you find your only friend in a room with your two-timer, and you're sure you're near the end. And then that follows up with Then You Love a Little Wild One, and she brings you only sorrow. All the time you know she's smiling, you'll be on your knees tomorrow. And then it just goes back into the You Go Back, Jack, Do It Again. The song has a nice instrumental section that's omitted in the single, as I mentioned, but around the 2 minute 38 second mark to 4 minutes 25. This is a little bit of the sitar solo, the electric sitar solo, and then it fades into the organ solo around 3:38. It's really a nice addition. Like, I do like the longer version, as I said. We've definitely discussed organs before on the pod, but I don't think we've really ever covered anything with an organ solo specifically.
Yeah.
Which I thought is nice. And then this comes right back to the vocals around the 4 minute 25, which, well, at least I know I'll mention it later. That's kind of a theme later on that they jump from solo right back into either the chorus or just lyrics in your face. Um, at that 425 mark, though, it's like I said, it's a quick transition right back into the vocals. Um, Now you swear and kick in Vegas that you're not a gambling man. Then you find you're back in Vegas with a handle in your hand. Your black cards can make you money, so you hide them when you're able. In the land of milk and honey, you must put them on the table. I think that's excellent writing. I've always liked that verse a lot, just because the writing kind of like tells a story. I think it's a really solid song.
Yeah.
Overall, it goes without saying it's one of my favorite songs, and I feel like a lot of people can enjoy the song even if they haven't heard it. It's just I find this song hard to hate. Um, I'm gonna bump my score up just because I'm kind of hope I'm not overselling it. Curious to see what you say. But yeah, the upbeat tempo and the instrumentation with the catchy vocals is an easy toe tapper for me. I'm gonna give this a 4.2. Originally, I gave it a 4, but I'm gonna go 4.2.
Okay. So yeah, it has like a funky opening to the song between the maraca, the drums, sounding very much like you said congos.
Congas, yeah.
I put bongos. I don't. These are my two
Conga,
ones.
bonga.
I think Congo is
No.
like isn't it like a place? Congo. Anyway, it is. But
It
I
is.
don't know. I don't know if
Maybe
whatever.
I misspelled that. Anyways, moving
Anyway,
on.
point is, as well as like there's like a zipping sounding like instrument. I don't know what that is, but it's cool. It does have like that Latin sound to it that you
Mhm.
mentioned. Um, electric guitar comes in around 25 seconds. It's very cool, very smooth. The guitar is layer, and we get some chimes right before the first verse hits at 105. In the morning, you go gunning for the man who stole your water, and you fire till he is done in, but they catch you at the border. The vocal delivery kind of changes between each line. Um, in the morning, you go gunning for the man. It like goes higher pitch, lower pitch,
Mhm.
higher pitch, lower pitch, and it kind of jumps around doing that a little bit. Um, the chorus doesn't change up much musically and doesn't run on very long either, so it definitely keeps a quick pace to the song. You go back, Jack, do it again. We'll turn it round and round. You go back, Jack, do it again. Coming off the second chorus, we get a really groovy. I put guitar solo, but what were you? What did you say it was?
It's so I actually checked it out because I was like, I want to make sure it's an electric sitar, yeah.
Okay.
Which apparently you can get. It looks just like a guitar.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so yeah, that checks out.
All right. All right. So so yeah, then we also get
You're
some.
right in the right neck of woods. You weren't
Gotcha.
off, yeah.
Yeah, it was like
It's a
oh,
guitar,
let's get a
yeah.
little twang on it.
Yeah.
Kind of psychedelic sounding organ as the solo comes in like right after the sitar. The twinkling chimes come back to close the second solo and bring us into the last verse. For the last like 45 seconds, the song is closed with an instrumental outro as it winds down. It's very old school. It's cool. It's smooth rock. It's a classic. I gave it a 4 out of 5. On to track number 2, we have Dirty Work coming in at 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Song starts right away with guitar, drums, organ. It's kind of like the real star of the show musically, as the guitar and drums are much more low key. Um, I was also like pleasantly surprised by the brass like instrumentation coming in early on. The vocals are very smooth and easy listening in their delivery. When you need a bit of lovin', because your man is out of town, that's the time to get me running, and you know I'll be around. And then the I'm a fool to do your dirty work. Oh yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
I don't wanna do your dirty work no more.
No more. No more.
No more. I like the musical breakdown going into the chorus. The acoustic guitar has like a real oomph to it. Just like da, 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 da,
Mm-hmm.
da, I
Yeah.
don't wanna like it's cool. The brass instrumentation wraps the chorus, bringing the tone back down for the next verse. Coming off the second chorus. Oh yeah, yeah. So coming off the second chorus, we get a brass solo for about 30 seconds before dropping back into the final chorus as the song starts to wind down. This is another classic track by Steely Dan. Smooth rock with some solid punchy moments of instrumentation. I gave this a 4 out of 5 as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's another solid intro. It's a little bit different than track one. Dirty Work is much smoother and almost ballad-like at the chorus. The opening with with the organ is really nice, and it's subtle, but it's easy to appreciate. The vocals come in really smooth around the 24-ish second mark. Dirty Work is one of the songs on Can't Buy A Thrill, which David Palmer was the lead vocal instead of Fakin on
Oh,
track one.
okay.
So there's a little bit of a change up, and I did not know that.
I
One
didn't
of
know that
them, I
either.
guess, was like really shy to sing
Hmm.
live, so they hired somebody else. I can't remember the names, but
Interesting.
I'm sure if you're listening to this, you probably know. Um, it's the only track on the album to include horn instruments too, as you alluded to. The opening verse, I'm pretty sure you used the verse. When you need a little bit of lovin', because your man is out of town, that's the time you get me running, and you know I'll be around. And then it fades right into that, I'm a fool to do your dirty work. The lyrics kind of tell like a soap opera story of a man trapped in a degrading affair with a married woman. It's a song that I never really put a lot of thought into until like we did the notes and I actually kind of like sat down and analyzed it. Concept wise, it reminds me of something of Hall and Oates.
Yeah.
Concept wise, not like sound wise or anything like
Sure.
that. Just concept wise, like Man Eater or something like that. Uh, Light the candle, put the lock upon the door. You have sent the maid home early like 1,000 times before. Like the castle on its corner in a medieval game, I foresee terrible trouble, and I stay here just the same. And then it again goes right back into the chorus. The song's music has been described more, I guess, as commercial sounding than most of the band's other material, which I can kind of see. But then again, do it again is similar. Um, the Guardian though quoted it as sounding like a radio-friendly stroll of a song. This song too, as I'm sure you're aware of, and I was wondering if you would allude to it, was used in season 3 of The Sopranos, as Tony Soprano drives along in his SUV, unaware
I
of the
want
FBI. Yeah, he's just yep, and he's singing along to it.
Waste management.
It was also in American Hustle, The Simpsons, Robin Williams, one of his documentaries, and Euphoria.
And I think it was used in one of the trailers for The Suicide Squad. I don't know if you ever saw
Yeah,
that.
it might have been. That might have been one that I just omitted when I looked it up because I was like, Mikey, no,
Yeah,
that.
I don't know that. We
Before,
might
no.
have to watch that. I think you might actually
I
like
probably
it.
would, honestly. 'Cause
It's pretty
that's
good.
got like the all-star cast in it, right?
Kind of, sort of.
Okay. But yeah, overall, I like the track a lot, and I think it might not really get the recognition it deserves. At least for me, I kind of overlooked it for a long time. Um, but it's a fun mic track. Like I find myself getting lost in the chorus. It's just very catchy, and like you said with the guitar, the da 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 da. It has like an emotion about it that it's relatable, even though it's a really crazy song of being a man just in a affair with a married woman. It's different.
Yeah.
I gave this a 3.8, so I was a little lower on this one.
Okay.
Now we'll take us to track number 3. We have Kings. Runtime 3 minutes 47 seconds. Track 3 again with a little bit of a different intro than the previous 2 tracks. It's a really nice riff with the piano on the intro with some light percussion. Vocals do come in early though, right around 13 seconds, and it's really delivered in like an abrupt, deep breath, exhaled, full emotion, wasting no time on the delivery. Now they lay his body down, saddled men.
Who run this down?
Who run this town? Yeah, I have a crack on my screen. I was like, is it saddled man who run this town or men? But the lyrics of Kings are used to describe the death of King Richard, the first of England, and the aftermath before his brother ascended the throne. This is the first song that utilizes the background singers. Kind of makes it a little different too. They're all female, and it gives the group a whole different sound, in my opinion. I first noticed background singers at 39 seconds with the delivery of "We've seen the last of good King Richard, ring out the past, his name lives on and on, roll out the bones and raise up your pitcher, raise up your glass to good King John." The background singers, though, are utilized multiple times throughout the track. And there's a nice guitar solo around, it kind of fades in more or less around the 2:15 mark and lasts till around 2:40. When the vocals come back in again, kind of what I was talking about on the previous track, they'll go right from a solo right into like the vocals. The track, while not really appealing to myself, it's catchy and jazzy, rock pop sounding. It's pretty enjoyable, and it's almost 4 minutes long. and it flies by for me. It's very busy, but it doesn't have. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just there's always something going on. There's not really any dull moments. There's a 25-second guitar solo, and that's not that bad. It's a pretty decent solo. I like it, and I could see how again this track could be overlooked. And the lyrics being about the King of England, I could see where it could kind of be a mess a little bit. That kind of affected my score. I was a little bit lower on this. I gave this a 3.4. But for what it's worth, I mean, when the chorus hits, it's a pretty catchy song, I think.
Yeah. I really dig the tone of the song right out the gate. Just opening with the piano, it creates like a little bit of a sense of like angst and drama to it, with some creeping bass and guitar creeping along too. This is only added to as the song really gets going, with the piano syncing up with some very expressive vocals. Now they lay his body down. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of a Supertramp just a little bit, just in its sound, just not necessarily like specifically like the vocals, more musically than anything.
I can see it, especially with the piano.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I got the same line you got. Sad old men who run this town. Uh, some twangy guitar takes us into the chorus with some more of the I put bongo sounding percussion. We also get some layered vocals here with the backing vocals. I can hear the bugle playing. We've seen the last good King Richard. Ring out the past, his name lives on. Roll out the bones and raise up your pitcher. Uh, the song does not waste any time, and it never hits any lulls. And with its instruments ever changing, it does a real good job of giving each instrument its own little burst and a little bit of time to shine. Around the 2 minute mark, we get an instrumental breakdown, starting off with some keys. Then the percussion leads us into a full guitar solo. There's a brief, maybe second and a half pause after the to the end of the line before dropping us back into the chorus for the last time. Raise up your glass to good King John. Um, it's not a bad track. I very much appreciate this album being direct and to the point, not meandering at all. Um, and also a bit of storytelling on this track too.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's a history.
Yeah. So I gave this a 3.5 out of 5.
Okay. I felt like I was a little low, but I'm glad you kind of dipped down a little bit too for it.
Yeah.
Because it is a good track. I just feel like it doesn't have the substance.
Am I itching to come back to it? Not
Yeah.
really, but like, I respect it. Big bold opening with the keys and the percussion before pulling back quite a bit as the guitar faintly rings and echoes. Um, we also get these little flourishes of the piano.
You moved on to track 4?
Yeah, Midnight Cruiser.
Yeah, you didn't announce it.
Sorry, Midnight
you're
Cruiser,
good,
4
good.
minutes and 12 seconds.
You're good.
I deserve a felony for that. Felonious, my friend.
Execution. The podcast is over.
Felonious,
do
my old
something.
friend. Damn it. Felonious, my old friend. Step on in and let me shake your hand. So glad that you're here again. For one more time, let your madness run with mine. I really dig the piano being so prominent on this track. It gets like very commanding of your attention. Again, on the chorus, we get some layered vocals with, similar to the last song, a bit of, I don't know, this kind of has like a bit of a celebratory sound to its delivery. Tell me where you driving, Midnight Cruiser. Where is your bounty of fortune and fame? Am I another gentleman loser? Drive me to Harlem or somewhere the same. Coming off the first chorus, we get a brief guitar solo before going back to the quieter instrumentation from the start of the song. I already mentioned how much I like the piano, but I also really dig the faint guitar that comes in on the verses. Coming off the second chorus, we get another guitar solo, this time going on much longer than the first. The last 30 seconds of the song slowly winds down, fades out. This album is pretty consistent thus far. Every song kind of hovers around the same level of quality, which is by no means a bad thing, as it's all pretty good. Even if it like kind of teeters on the edge of being a little samey, it's all still pretty solid. I gave this a 3.6 out of 5.
So this was a track that kind of really won me over to choose this album as my selection. I don't know how I came to really like listen to it or how it really made it on my radar. But like 3 months ago, I would have said "Do It Again" was my favorite off the album. Um, and while it's still excellent, Midnight Cruiser kind of holds a seat on the throne now. I guess I kind of like made it my favorite. It doesn't have the energy as "Do It Again,"
It
but
has almost
it's
like a southern rock sound to it.
yeah, a little bit. I could see that. It takes a little while to get the chorus, which that's my favorite part, and it pays off for me. The writing is still solid on the journey to the chorus too. I think so. The song keeps the piano theme from the previous track, but this track isn't as jazzy pop sounding to me. I could see southern rock, like you said, Shane. It really just kind of utilizes piano, guitars, and bass, plus percussion, and it's a very rock and roll sounding song. As I mentioned before, the chorus is definitely my favorite part. It first hits around the 44-second mark. Tell me, where are you driving, Midnight Cruiser? Where is your bounty of fortune and fame? I am another gentleman loser, rather. Drive Me to Harlem, or somewhere the same. Same lyrics, but Shane pulled. It all flows really well, and the music swells with the delivery of the verses. It's also not too much of a wait on paper, just 48 or 44 seconds rather. And I really like the "I'm another gentleman loser" lyric. I like that. Um, I say I always, but it's a new track to me. But I've always like really liked that on the chorus. Uh, After the first rock or the first roll of the chorus, the music really kind of pulls back, almost into like a yacht rock sounding.
Yeah.
Before the vocals come back in, but they are very simmered down from the boiling chorus we got at 44 seconds. I think these lyrics are also like really good writing. The world that we used to know, people don't tell me I don't turn no more. The places we used to go, familiar faces that ain't smiling like before. The time of our time is come and gone. I fear we've been waiting too long. And then it goes right back into the chorus again, just really nails it out. And the vocal delivery here is really excellent too. I believe this is hotter. So I think this is his first song. Um, but yeah, I lost my spot here. Bear with me. The vocal delivery is really good here, but the lyrics I think are pretty timeless. The only exception I think to that would be that the song is somewhat about cab drivers or getting a ride in a cab, but still it's a solid concept song. And I was thinking about that movie with Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise,
Collateral.
Collateral. It's like that could have used a song. I don't know where they would have fit it in because it's way too upbeat for that movie. I feel like, but
Sure.
so you can't replace that with Hands of Time. No, Hands of Time.
Perfecto.
Yeah, I nailed that one in the head.
Absolute cinema.
This song again features a nice 45-second-ish guitar solo that takes us right back into the chorus. Again, going from the solo to the chorus. That's a theme here, and I love the chorus. The song loops the chorus on the outro multiple times, which really nails it home. I really like it. I bumped up my score for Do It Again though, and I'm gonna hold this one. So I'm gonna go against what I said. I give this a 4.1 out of 5,
Okay.
which will take us to track number 5. Only a fool would say that. This song is similar to track 1. Oh, I don't have the runtime. Do you have the runtime for this?
255.
Okay, thank you. It's shorty. This song is similar to track 1, as they both kind of have that Latin vibe to them. I think only a fool would say that it has a little bit more of a jazzy sound to it overall compared to Do It Again, for sure. But the lyrics start early here again, right around 14 seconds. We get a world become one of salads and sun. Only a fool would say that. A boy with a plan, a natural man, wearing a white Stetson hat. And I actually did the last delivery there, Stetson hat. You know what a Stetson hat looks like?
Huh.
It's you would think of a cowboy hat, like a white cowboy hat.
Okay.
I looked it up. I don't know if that's a brand or if that's a style. I don't know. Don't know much about hats. Around the 48-second mark, we get "I Heard It Was You," talking about a world where all is free. The vocal delivery here with the layering kind of reminded me a little bit of the Doobie Brothers. You remember that episode of The Office with the smoking doobies with my brothers?
Yeah.
I had to throw that in there. This song has the up until this point, because there is a couple other songs later on that have a little bit of a lengthy lyrics, but this song has the longest lyrics this far into the album. The track ends with a phrase in Spanish, spoken by Jeff Scott Baxter. I'm not going to try to pronounce it, but it means, maybe I don't have what it means. Oh, it translates. It's in Spanish, and it translates to "Only a fool would say that." So, I also didn't know about before doing research on this song. This is widely interpreted as a response to John Lennon's 1971 hit "Imagine." So he's Steely Dan, the group, is kind of saying like, only a fool would say that stuff in his song.
Hmm.
Pretty much just kind of saying like it's crazy that John Lennon's writing this and it's like high rise apartment with
That
like
right.
no real issues going on. But it's
Oh,
it's not bad. Yeah, no, and I don't really know if that's what they were going for. I don't think like any of them, Becker and Fakin, were saying that's what they were going for, and no one's came out and said that. That's just kind of the interpretation that I read about.
that's funny.
This one was totally new to me, but I had, or I'm sorry, this one wasn't totally new to me, but I had no idea that it was on this album, along with Do It Again and Reeling in the Years, stuff like that. This is a pretty solid track. I didn't give it a crazy high score, but I still do like it. I gave it a 3.5.
Okay. That is funny if that's like actually the case. Because then, do you remember like back in like it was like 2020, whenever like all the celebrities were like singing "Imagine" and people were like,
Yeah,
"Boo, fuck you."
yeah,
It's like I can't go to work. I can't pay my bills.
yeah.
You're doing fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were ahead of their time.
yeah. So,
A year, not even. Well, yeah, probably about a year later.
so,
71 to 72. I don't know what months, but
but yeah, musically, this song is very much similar to "Do It Again." Sound is like very similar sonically, similar energy. Some layered guitar work, light drums, and the maraca shaking. I particularly like the cut off of uh, white Stetson hat. Little emphasis on the T at the end of hat. Um, and the way that the vocals become higher and lighter on if he's holding it high, he's telling a lie. And the little bit of quick vocal layering in talking about a world where all is free. Uh, the bridge has some of my favorite lyrics
take me to the bridge.
on the song. Anybody on the streets has murder in his eyes. You feel no pain, and you're younger than you realize. At 2:10, we get a little guitar solo before the vocals come back in at 2:24 for one last chorus, and the song ends with someone laughing what sounds like some Spanish, which turns out to be translated to "Only a fool would say that."
Did you know that, or was that
No, no,
piggybacking off all
I'm
of
I'm,
that?
pig, I'm piggybacking. You're useful sometimes.
I'm worthy of carrying your load.
Carrier's Load? Yeah, sounds about right. I don't have a ton to say about the song. It's the shortest off the album and doesn't really switch gears too much, but it just serves as a chill song. I feel like I should be driving like along like the country, like some country road to like this. Just I give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Nice. Same.
On to track number 6, we have "Reelin' in the Years" coming in at 4 minutes and 37 seconds. Brings us to my favorite song off this album. I can remember listening to this with my dad countless times when I was a kid. The electric guitar opening to it is like super iconic. Immediately followed up by the drums. Immediately follows up with the drums, the bass, the piano keys. When the verse comes in, the music kind of strips down to piano and drums. Your everlasting summer, you can see it fading fast. So you grab a piece of something that you think is going to last. We wouldn't know a diamond if you held it in your hand. The things you don't
I don't
understand.
understand. They don't understand. They don't understand.
It's very good. It's very good. The music comes back in, and the lines repeat. Don't waste time. Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine? While the song approaches 5 minutes, it really flies by. The verses are rattled off quick. The choruses are a little repetitive, but very catchy and head bobbing. Um, from 159 to 255, we get a fun, high energy instrumental section with some very punchy moments. Then at 337 through until the end is another instrumental. I really like the electric guitar on the song. It's kind of light and twangy, with an emphasis on like some like really scratchy shredding. The drums also have a lot of focus on the cymbals, which I think really works for the song and doesn't outshine the other instruments or the vocals. So I give this a 4.2 out of 5.
I can respect this being your favorite. I mean, it's iconic on the intro.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's an excellent intro on the song, and I'd argue it's the second most popular, at least for me. Like it certainly was coming into it, and it's one of the ones that I knew. Like I definitely knew it more than Midnight Cruiser ever. But it's another solid use of pretty basic instrumentation, consisting of just electric guitars, acoustic piano, bass guitar, drums, and auxiliary percussion. It's another solid showcase too of songwriting here. I like the lyrics on the opening verse. Your everlasting summer, you can see it fading fast, so you grab a piece of something that you think is going to last. Well, you wouldn't even know a diamond if you held it in your hand. The things you think are precious, I can't understand. I like that last verse there. The things you think are precious, I can't understand. That kind of changes throughout the song. The things that pass for knowledge, I can't understand. Um, the things you think are useless, I can't understand. And there's always like a different story going on with those verses. And it repeats the chorus a lot, but it kind of, like I said, it kind of changes. There's a little bit of variation on the filler in between the chorus, which I think is really nice. And then the chorus, the chorus itself is excellent. With just the, are you reeling in the years, stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine? I think it's really good writing, and it's just so like quick. Trying to scroll up here. This is Fakin too, so he is the same guy that did Do It Again. Um, and what we just did previously that you said it sounded like Do It Again. Um, but it's a great blend of guitar and piano on this track. It kind of trades the lead and then you just kind of go back and forth on the instrumentation. Uh, 4.5 minute. It's a 4.5 minute track, but it's some high energy stuff like you said, Shane. It goes by pretty quick. There's a nice instrumental breakdown at 3:38, which leads to guitar solo around 3 minutes 53 seconds. Originally, Jeff Baxter was assigned lead guitar, but after he was unable to nail the part to the band's satisfaction, he asked Elliot Randall to give it a try. Randall's guitar solo was recorded in one take with no edits or punch-ins. Jimmy Page, you know who Jimmy Page is, right?
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin. Ranked the guitar solo as his favorite solo of all time, and he scored it a 12 out of 10, which I think is it's like how fucking easy.
Yeah.
12 out of 10. Overall, though, in 2016, the solo was ranked 40th best in the guitar solo of all time by readers of Guitar World. So that's pretty cool. 40th. I really overlooked the guitar solo on this, but
It's
it
very
seems
good.
like no, a lot of people like it, and as they should. I give this a 3.9, which will take us to track number 7, "Fire in the Hole," with a runtime of 3 minutes 29 seconds. Piano starts us off and is really the foundation of this track. The song title got its name from soldiers in Vietnam, and also people avoiding the draft, I guess. Which I can see how the lyrics can relate to that quite a bit. It's another track where the music and the vocals kind of harmonize together with emphasis. The chorus is really catchy too. Don't you know there's fire in the hole and nothing left to burn? I'd love to run out now. There's nowhere left to turn. And it's just really nice delivery with the piano. Honest mic time though.
Mm.
Before listening, well, like I was listening to the album, but I never really like it was on my phone. The screen's black. I'm just doing stuff, washing dishes, whatever. I thought it was fire in the hall.
I mean, it kind of sounds like it whenever he sings it.
Yeah.
There's fire in the hall.
And then I was like, there's nothing left out there to burn because you burned everything in the house. I don't know. That's where I went with it. I was wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. So that's my ex-wife. From 135 to 226, there's a nice piano solo before falling right back into the chorus again with that theme solo back into the chorus, which is nice, honestly, because I feel like you're coming back in with higher energy than what you left off with, but they're still both high energy. I thought there was some notable guitar around it's after the 226 mark. The guitar really I don't know what I wrote there. I don't have a lot for this one, I guess, is a good way to put it. I did enjoy it, and it was a track that I had no idea existed until I gave it a first listen a few months ago whenever I started kind of kicking the tires, I should say, on this album. It is a song that I've kind of woken up with, the chorus in my head, just the fire in the hole. I have a bad habit of waking up with just weird choruses in my head, like random stuff. And then I ended up listening to it, but this was around the time I was listening to the album a lot, so that would kind of check out. It's a solid song, and I'm gonna spoil it for myself. To me, I don't want to say it's the last solid song on the album, but it doesn't get a whole lot better from here for me. I gave this a decently high score though. I gave this a 3.7. I do like it, mostly because I woke up with the chorus in my head. So
I was really impressed like right out the gate with like the rapid piano solo. I can very much feel like I don't know, it almost has like a guitar solo energy to it, but it's piano.
Yeah.
The drum roll takes us right into the verse with like a little bass guitar. Worldly wise, I realize that everybody's crazy. A woman's voice reminds me to serve and not to speak. Uh, Am I myself or just another freak? And the chorus comes in without much flair. No, there's fire in the hole, nothing left to burn. Love to run out now, there's nowhere left to turn. With the music winding down with the vocals to close out the chorus, I don't know, I like the way it kind of just winds down. And then from 136 to 225, the instrumental section with more of the piano continuing to like drive the song sonically. The chorus has a very like downbeat sound to it as it comes to a close. At 240 through until the end of the song, we get an instrumental outro with a guitar solo as the song comes to an end. Yeah, I also don't have a ton for this song, but I do like it. I give it a 3.8 out of 5. On to track number 8. Brooklyn owes the charm. Brooklyn, in parentheses, owes the charmer under me. At 4 minutes and 21 seconds, the guitar, piano, drums, bass, and maracas set off the song right away. 18 seconds in, the vocals hit, and we get like this little repeating like it's almost like a beef that sounds like a repeating key from like I don't know a keyboard or a piano, but I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure it's just like a single note from the electric guitar, which I'm leaning more towards just because like there's little like there's not a ton of guitar in this, but then there'll be like little bursts where I'm like, okay, that sounds like that little like bit that kept repeating over and over again. I feel like they match up quite a bit. So I like the delivery of the opening lyrics and how they carry and drag out. A race of angels bound with one another. A dish of dollars laid out for all to see. There is guitar layering between the repeating one and the other guitar has like a kind of country prairie esque sound to it as it rings out. Um, and of course, there are some female backing vocals that harmonize really well. Uh, Brooklyn owes the charmer under me. Coming off the chorus, we get a guitar solo with that like prairie guitar ringing out. Uh, on the third verse, I really enjoy the instruments punctuating the vocals as well as the female. Ooh. The final chorus has some vocals going high pitched on me. Then at 3:37 through until the end, we get an instrumental outro. Well, not cracking my top three. I think this is just generally a solid song by Steely Dan. I don't think there's a single song off this album that I would skip. Maybe,
It all flows really good.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I'd have to listen to it on like a CD or a vinyl. If I was on my phone, I'd be tempted to skip
I hear
here
you.
and there. For me personally.
Fair enough. Um, yeah, I give it a 3.6 out of 5.
Nice. So the song apparently is written about President Street Pete, who is a tenant who lived under Fakin's apartment in Brooklyn, New York. This is like what Fakin and Becker imagined he was owed for. In Becker's words, they suffered from living in Brooklyn, sitting on the stoop and just shooting the shit about the Mets and that kind of thing for 20 years. So just like, and I mean, I'm an outsider looking into New York. I can kind of understand where they're coming from. Like, I don't know, people from New York are a different breed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I couldn't adapt. That is a different environment altogether, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But the song starts again with a very heavy piano intro, accompanied with guitar and light percussion. Track reminds me on the first 30 seconds of something by the Eagles, which I think kind of checks out with like your prairie vibe rock kind of sound that you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
This is similar to track 3 for me in the sense that I like it. It's catchy, it's an easy listen, but the vocals really don't 100% appeal to me. Um, I do like the writing and the concept of the song is pretty good, as I sort of explained. The opening lyrics, though, I like them. Tower room at Eden Park or at Eden Rock, rather. It's golf at noon for free. Brooklyn owes the charmer under me, and it's very like poppy jazz through the Brooklyn owes the charmer under me. Slow delivery, a little slower energy, a lot less energy than like Do It Again or Reeling in the Years. But there is some background vocals, female background vocals. I do like that. It enhanced the track a lot. That actually kind of probably boosted the score just a little bit for me. I thought Palmer's vocals were a little more showcased here. This track to me didn't seem as like by the book. It seemed a little bit looser and freer, if that makes sense. Like just on the vocal aspect of it. Um, Song could be a little shorter, in my opinion. The short instrumentation or just the instrumental is fine, but I wasn't too big on it. I thought it was without being too critical. I think it's one of the lesser appealing musical instrumental breakdowns. But it's also a pretty mellow and low energy song, so it kind of checks out that it would be like that. So I can't really pick at it too much. Um, I wouldn't expect like a crazy guitar solo on a track like this. I guess is a good way to say it. Overall, not a bad tune. Not a crazy high score for me. What did you give this?
I gave it a 3.6.
Okay, I'm a little bit lower. I gave this a 3.4, which will take us to track number 9, Change of the Guard. Runtime of 3 minutes 39 seconds. Song opens with like a quick strumming of the guitar, I thought, and the piano is right back along with the percussion. The song from This song, from the delivery of the lyrics at 16 seconds, is way more energetic than the previous track, which I like. I like the higher energy. By the 45-second mark, the track is really picking up speed, and it's pretty appealing, I thought. The lyrics, you don't have to try so very hard if you live in this world. You're feeling the change of the guard. More lyrics I like. These are kind of towards the end of the track, so I'm jumping a little bit ahead here. But if you want to get through the years, it's high time you played your card. You live in this world, you're feeling the change. If you live in this world, you're feeling the change of the guard. Song is said to kind of be like a response to the hippie movement, but then again, Steely Dan is kind of caught mocking it, similar to Only Fool Would Say That with John Lennon. We get some more background singers around the 55-second mark. The background singers really get a full section where they are really utilized with like just a nice background backing vocal section, similar to like something I would hear on like I don't know something by like Pink Floyd or something. I don't know. It gives a nice like jazzy vibe, almost like a bluesy, jazzy soul vibe. It sounds very 70s as it should. This is an early 70s record. The song has a decent guitar solo too, around 2 minutes 5 seconds, and then kind of it follows right after the background singers with their section. Overall, not bad. A little more energy with a under 4 minute runtime, so it's a little quick hitting. Uh, Not a crazy score on this one either. I gave this a 3.5. And on that note, we're going to come back with the final track and Shane's bonus, and then we'll talk about next week's episode. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
All right, and we are back. So it is on me, track number 9, uh, Change of the Guard. Keys open with like a rapid drumming, bringing us into the music with some bass guitar, and again a repeating note of scratchy electric guitar. The opening verse comes in quick at 15 seconds. It's also over pretty quick, only being like 4 lines before we get into the chorus, where the music totally changes up. The drums hit harder, the repeating guitar stops and becomes more traditional, like rock sounding, like in its guitar. The vocals and their delivery get punched up by the drums following them. All the signs are right this time. You don't have to try so very hard. If you live in this world, you're feeling the change of the guard. We get a little instrumental between the chorus and the next verse with a little inclusion of vocalization with the na 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 na. Coming off the second chorus, there is a bit of guitar that is very like buzzing and humming before breaking into a solo, kind of ascending and then descending in pitch and squealing out. One final chorus before the song fades out. Another track that wastes no time, maintains a high energy throughout with some solid instrumentation and vocals. I gave this a 3.5 out of 5. On to track number 10, we have Turn That Heartbeat Over Again, coming in at 4 minutes and 58 seconds. quiet opening before the song really gets going, like 5 seconds in. The bass guitar, rapping and tapping of the drums, as well as some faint keys. While listening to this with headphones, the vocals like it's kind of weird. They like kind of switch from being like really clear in the right ear, being really clear in the left ear, and then it'll be in unison in both ears. Looked at my watch and started for the door. Now the food here ain't so good no more, and they closed the package store. The vocals then layer, uh, "Love your mama, love your brother, love them till they run for cover." The music kind of pulls back as the chorus starts with some effects on the vocals. I feel like um, after the second chorus from 228 through until 335, we get an instrumental break with the guitar at its most prominent thus far in the song. The keys start to match up with the guitar, one final verse, and the chorus before the outro. Turn that heartbeat over again before we get some chimes to close out the album. This song was a very smooth, easy listen with some like late '60s, early '70s vibes to it. I do like the chimes kind of coming back in because they were in on like the first track, so the album ending with the chimes coming back like really works in my opinion.
No, that was nice, and that was really the only time the chimes were like
In there like
thrown in
that,
there ever.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that was nice.
I gave it. I wasn't terribly high on this song, but I gave it a 3.3 out of 5.
Yeah, I think I might be a little bit higher. I'm scrolling down. Yeah, I'm a little bit higher. No, I like this one. It wasn't terrible, but yeah, it's an extended form piece with multiple key changes. In a 1973 interview with Denny Diaz, who's guitarist for Steely Dan, founding member too, I guess, said that "Turn the Heartbeat Over Again" and "Fire in the Hole" were two of his favorite songs on "Can't Buy a Thrill" because they were more sophisticated than the others, which totally is true. I mean, this is almost 5 minutes long. And that was in a 2025 interview. At first, I really wasn't crazy about the song just based on the first few listens, but once I kind of sat down with the lyrics, I really kind of started to like it a little bit more. And the vocal layering is really nice. It was done on other tracks, but here I feel like they kind of did like really a deep dive on it because there's three different vocalists on this song, and sometimes they're kind of singing harmony. Some of the lyrics I liked, and I'm gonna break these up because I kind of pulled them. A lot of the first half. With stocking face, I bought a gun. The plan was set, the plan was done. Looked at my watch and started for the door. Now the food here ain't so good no more. And they closed the package store. I like that. It just kind of like sets the scene, and then it goes into the love your mama, love your brother, um, love them till they run for cover, turn the light off, keep your shirt on, cry a jag on me. And it's I don't know the language cry a jag on me. That's not so much like an English slang or like an American slang. It's more of an English slang rather. But I still like it. Kind of sets the tone, and then it kind of goes into like a religious thing. Oh Michael, oh Jesus, you know I'm not to blame. You know my reputation for playing a good, clean game. The lyrics are frequently interpreted as a desperate plea for a second chance. The narrator kind of bargains with Saint Michael and Jesus Christ for their life and forgiveness, and there's kind of like a dark humor, kind of like imagine of uh, crime or drugs, something like that. I like the verse though. The verses rather. My poison's named. You know my brand. Kind of just like clear alcohol reference. So please make mine a double, Sam. I like that too, and it kind of plays on like the drug addiction thing, more like an alcohol addiction, but same thing, same concept more or less. This song is really only appealing to me in certain parts. Other points of the song, the energy kind of drops off. It's kind of dull to me. Around the 2.5 minute mark, there's a little bit of an instrumental section. Nice guitar solo, but it's again pretty mellow, kind of with the overall feeling of the song. A little lower energy feeling, but I still feel like it's fitting, just kind of based on the overall vibe of the song. At 3:36, Fakin drops back in, kind of catches you off guard and lets you kind of know it's coming. Um, I think it's the highlight of the track with Palmer, Fagan, and Becker all singing at parts, but still wasn't like that appealing of a track to me. Overall, it was pretty smooth, soft way to finish the album, which I kind of piggybacking on what you said, Shane. Um, it's a crazy way to finish the album and tie it all together, like with "Do It Again." To turn a heartbeat over again is quite a contrast. Overall, I give this a 3.5 out of 5.
Okay.
And for the bonus, do you want me to take the lead on this, or do you want to introduce us?
You know what? Go ahead.
All
I'll let
right,
you do it. I'll let you do the honors. Go for it.
I appreciate that. So for the bonus this week, Shane talked on the intro. We're going to be doing the song "The Night Will Always Win" with a runtime of 4 minutes 24 seconds. This again is by the group Elbow. So it's a very slow, like fade and drip with just like some pulsing. I guess is the best way to describe it. I don't know if that. How would you describe it?
Well, there's like a hum, and then it's like just a repeated like
Yeah,
a piano
dum,
note.
dum, dum.
Boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like the pulsing of the piano, I guess. Good way
Mm-hmm.
to put it. The lyrics come in 37 seconds. Reminds me of something, but I can't really put my finger on it. I know we watched that one video, and I'm sure you're going to elaborate on that,
Yeah.
right? I won't deep dive into that too much. But I did mention that we brought it up earlier off mic, but I was like, yeah, that's in my notes. It gives me Devashka vibes. I know I can't really remember exactly what it's from, and we covered that right in a bonus
Yeah.
at some point in time. I'm pretty
Mm-hmm.
sure. Um, at the minute mark, though, on this track, "The Night Will Always Win," it's really rolling at that point. Um, I'd recommend listening to this, even if you're listening to this from the Steely Dan. These are two different groups entirely.
Way different.
They sound nothing alike, but it's a solid song. It's got a really good vibe to it. The opening lyrics, "I throw this to the wind, but what if I was right? Well, did you trust your noble dreams and gentle expectations to the mercy of the night?" And then it goes into
It's
"And the
really beautifully
night
delivered.
will always
Ways
win."
win.
Yeah, of course, Mikey ain't doing it justice. And then "I throw this to the wind. I miss your stupid face. I miss your bad advice." Guy Garvey, lead singer, he does a hell of a job on the vocals here. It's crazy. I think when we end this, when we step outside, we need to look for a live version because I want to see what that's like. I would assume there's some real emotion with the live version because I don't know. I'm sure you probably know. It's a tribute kind of to their friend Brian Glancy. They lost him. I guess I don't know the whole story on that, but I
Interesting.
think
I
it's a
didn't know
solid
that.
song. But it totally. I don't know. I think back to when I lost my dad and it was late at night, and I'm like, man, this song. And I go back to that moment in time. I'm like, gonna have to cry now because it's a very emotional song, and I mean that in a good way, not a bad way at all. It's just a very. It's the best thing about music is when it kind of moves you emotionally, like makes your arm, the arms on the hair on your arms stand up.
Yeah.
It's good. I didn't give this a crazy high score, but I did give it a flat 4. I think it's a solid song. It's not meant for everyday listening, but it really captures the tone, and if it catches you in the right state of mind, it's a really solid listen. I give it a good score of a flat 4. I think it's a good pick. I add it to my like songs.
Nice. So my introduction to this track was from the opening cutscene of Call of Duty Black Ops 2. That's probably where like a lot of people our age know it from. Like they might not know this song, but they've definitely heard it in that opening cinematic. It's a very cinematic song, and it really stuck with me over the years. The opening of the song has this like really, I don't know, it's very commanding. There is like this hum that kind of like grows for the first few seconds before this like very low repeated key from the piano just boom 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 boom. It's played over and over again, and it really draws you in. The vocals hit 36 seconds in, as the repeating key is now like it's a higher key. The instruments used here, they're very limited, but it makes for a very heavy atmosphere, especially paired up with the cryptic yet deep lyrics. The instrumentation syncs up with the vocals, almost like the vocals are like directing the instruments themselves. I throw this to the wind, but what if I was right? Well, did you trust your noble dreams and general expectations of the night? I try to clothe your bones with scratches, Super 8s, exaggerated stories, and old tunes, but never by the moon, and never the state that I'm in. The night will always win. Uh, and then, like the deeper key comes back to close out the song. The way it like repeats, but it like instead of boom boom boom, it's boom 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 boom
Slows down a little bit.
boom. Yeah, And it's just until by the end we're just left with like that little like hum that started off the song. The song has like this like lullaby-esque sound to it, making reference to dreams, darkness, the moon, and of course the night itself. Um, and I think the night is supposed to be like supposed to be death. Like yeah, death. Like well,
Yeah,
it always comes. Like it'll always win. The song oozes atmosphere, and I think it's like incredibly simplistic and incredibly well made. I really love this song. I gave it a 4.3 out of 5.
it's
So,
worthy. It's your bonus. Yeah.
as for next week's album, da-da-da-da-da, funnily enough, is actually going to be the album that this song is off of. It is going to be Build a Rocket Boys by Elbow, 2011.
Nice. My bonus for next week's episode will be Flute Man, Jethro Tull, with a song called Teacher.
Teacher by Jethro Tull. All right, I got it. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. This has been The Working Hour with Mike and Shane. And until next time.
Don't work too hard now.